tomorrow. Maybe.
All right.
Friday. Probably Friday, if not tomorrow.
It's Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geek Nights. Tonight we are reviewing City, the animation. Based on City, the manga. So this past weekend we were gonna go biking, but it was a little hot and humid, and we hadn't hiked in a while. So instead we went upstate to hike, up in the mountains in Harriman, and for the last like 3 summers. We'll go up there like a few times during the summer, and we mostly hike in the fall. But every time we're there in the summer, we're hiking, and it's hot, we're having a good time, and we pass a lake, and a lot of those lakes are not swimming lakes. They're just lakes. Like, I guess it's
quite a few of them have like a little tiny beach with lifeguard.
In Harriman Park, most of the beaches are technically no swimming allowed. Like, most of the lakes.
I've seen
there
them.
are like 3 lakes you can swim in officially with lifeguards in that park. Like most of them, there are a lot of lakes in that park. Most of them are posted no swimming lakes.
There's Lake Welch Beach.
Yep.
There is Lake Sebago. I guess
Lake Sebago is currently closed down because they're treating it for some invasive species.
Lake Tiorati Beach.
Yep. You realize there's like 40 lakes inside of that park.
I'm sure, but
So, and where we hike way far away from the handful of places you can drive to. All the lakes you can swim officially are also like next to parking lots and have people.
Otherwise, how would anyone get their shit there to swim?
Yeah. But the best lakes to swim in are
like you can boat. It's a lake. You can't boat there from the river. There's no airport. You're not.
But we remember we park at the edge of the park.
In the town right there. You ain't making it by walking.
Actually, a lot of people are. So one of the hikes we do, we go. There's a Pine Meadow Lake and another lake near it, and we hike by that area. And there's no way there except hiking. There's no road to it. And it's really popular with people swimming, even though it's illegal because no one cares. Like, no one's going to stop you. So this lake is super warm and like pleasant. Like, it's a great experience. I love this lake. But so many years, we just don't think to bring swimsuits, and we're hiking and it's hot. And we pass one of these lakes and we're like, oh, God damn it. Wish I could swim. And as much as I'm into skinny dipping, I don't want to skinny dip because there's often a bunch of other people who have hiked out or camping who are swimming
during the day.
Yep.
Where they can see you.
Well, I mean, at night I could go skinny dipping, but we weren't camping overnight this time. But this time I remembered to bring our swimsuits. We went swimming in this lake, and it was great.
Did you get any amoebas?
Nope.
Or whatever, brain-eating whatevers?
And they're still pretty rare in groundwater, like up here. That's more of a southern thing. But
good.
There is actually some significant research and evidence that thing is way, way more common than people talk about, the amoeba itself. However, it may not be that getting exposed to it causes the deadly problem. It's that if you get exposed to it and you have another condition that makes you susceptible to it. Because otherwise, very likely, a lot more people would have that problem because it's in like a lot of municipal water supplies and a lot of lakes.
Would kill it.
Well, no, actually it can't because it's inside of an area where the immune system doesn't really go. There's a different immune system in there.
Anyway,
so it's not necessarily that if you get exposed to this thing, it gets you because it's kind of everywhere. It might be that some people are just really, really unlucky and lost some genetic lottery that we don't fully understand, and they got exposed to it. But no, that's not a concern. We just had a nice hike, nice walk, good time upstate. And at this point, I think we've hiked almost every we have hiked the majority of all trails in that entire park. So now we're going to try to hike every trail in the park for a completionist thing. But now we're hitting the point where some of the trails require multi-day hikes because there's no way to do a loop and get on them and get back out in one day.
Yeah, it's not like some loop, right? It's basically just a bunch of trails all over a big, web of going this way, going that way.
It's a huge park, and it's only like an hour north of the city, too.
Yeah, it's big, but it's not, it's not like, the biggest.
Well, I mean, what are you looking for the biggest in?
Like you're talking like Yellowstone kind of, like the massive parks that are like taking up some,
Yeah, it would take a few days to hike end to end in this thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, got any news?
Yeah, so what was my news? Oh, right. People are going crazy. A long time ago on the Geek Nights, we talked about an anime called Umamusume Pretty Derby.
June 13th, 2018. I'm going to read what we wrote in, because when we review things, we usually just say, oh, on Geek Nights Night, we're reviewing X, and we talk about it in the episode. But occasionally, I will write something about the thing we reviewed in the description of the episode. And I only do that if something's really good or really bad. And for Umamusume, what I wrote in 2018 was, tonight on Geek Nights, re-review Umamusume Pretty Derby. It's ... okay. It has some problems. It's basically on one end of the horse girl anime spectrum.
Yeah, so the things that are good about this show, I guess, is that there's no other horse girl anime that I know about.
Well, there are, but they are on the other end of the... what I linked
Name one.
That Monster Girl show.
That's not horses specifically.
There is a horse girl who is one of the main characters.
But it's not a horse girl anime that is about horse girls that run in horse races.
It simply has main character and plot related horse girls.
It is a cookie cutter, girl, idol girl type anime harem-y thing where there's a whole bunch of anime girls.
But it's like not funny.
Hairstyle.
Like the writing was kind of The jokes were like those basic anime jokes from the bad shows everyone forgot about in the 90s. Like everything was super generic. All the characters sounded the same.
Yeah, it's just the same old formula except horse girls in races, which is the unique part of it.
Still say they were cowards because it's horse girls. They just have little horse ears. They're not horses.
They're running in races with, like horses. Anyway.
At least make them centaurs. Come on.
Anyway, this thing, I guess, these things somehow have enough popularity that they make money that, and people keep making them. And recently, they made a video game of this intellectual property, and it is just one of those gacha games. That's all it is. It's a free-to-play gacha microtransaction game, but in the game, you watch the horse girls run the horse race, and it's for a free little game, the animation of it is I guess above par. And
I watched a clip. It's okay.
Yeah, somehow this little gacha game you can play on Steam or your phone. Don't do that. It's a gambling microtransaction game. Has taken off even amongst people who are not anime people, not the kind of person who would ever watch the anime or read the manga.
47,000 simultaneous players on Steam a week ago.
Yeah, it's the game has caught fire somehow. I even heard about it on a hockey podcast. One of the people mentioned this game and knew what it was.
A coworker mentioned it because his son was really into it. He wondered what it was, and he knew. I know what things are.
Don't spend money on it at least.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a development, I guess. That's something that would normally be only for the most otaku and mostly in Japan and only, right?
What's amazing, the review on Polygon is actually super positive, but uses words that don't line up with what this game actually is. It'll scratch your competitive itch.
Yeah, this
game is not competitive. It's random gacha.
Yeah.
Collect horse girls.
Pretty much. If you want to play a horse game, I recommend what's it called?
Long Shot, the board game.
Well, no, I'm talking about a game on your phone or whatever.
No.
There's Pocket Card Jockey, which is made by Game Freak, which is the people who make the actual Pokemon games. It was originally on DS, I think, but now you can get it pretty much everywhere. And that's a little solitaire card game that is not gacha, but it is a little bit grindy.
Yeah.
It's not horse girls, it's just cute horses.
Yeah. But anyway, things of the day. What do you got? Because it looks like a YouTube shouty man, but I assume you're linking to this for a reason. I didn't watch it yet.
That's exactly what I got to talk about. So it's a double thing of the day because it's not only the thing of the day is this guy's channel, right? And the thing he's talking about in this video, right? So the thing he's talking about in the video is the Dalai Lama, which I could be misremembering, but I feel like I saw the Dalai Lama when it was new in the early 2000s, right? And I must have like downloaded it and played with it for like a minute or two and then forgot about it. But then when I saw it again on this channel, I was like, I've seen that. I've seen that somewhere. I've seen this. And then in the video, I learned like all about you. There's no point in me repeating it because you can watch the video and get the history or read about it on the internet. But basically, it's this little audio plugin app that there's a Tibetan monk with a Tibetan flag, and the way it's programmed is basically like he can say the vowel sounds, and you can adjust like the timbre of him saying the different vowel sounds, like wow, right? And it's like, okay, but then the thing is, sometime between when I may or may not have seen it when it was new and now, it was used by actual audio people in all kinds of real, very popular music. Like the Timmy Trumpet song, it's like this guy mentioned, he's like, oh yeah, it's the lead synth in that song. And I'm like, what? And I go and turn on the song, and now I cannot unhear or unsee the llama singing that song now, right? But it's like, once you hear it, you'll understand. And yeah, so the Dalai Lama itself is a thing of the day, but also this channel, this Audio Pills guy, he seems like a YouTube shouty man. And normally, I hate YouTube shouty men. But the guy, he's got this thing going where he's like, he's not shouting, he is talking fast, and he's got sort of like, you can tell that he like really puts a lot of effort into like writing the video, right? Like all the words he's gonna say. And he's also like, he's actually educating in a way that a blog post won't, because there's an audio element, right? It's like you're hearing, what he makes these videos where he's like shows different audio devices or music, electronic musical instruments mostly, but also other things. And he shows how to use them and explains like how they work. And he also just throws like rapid fire memes at you, right? That like match up with what he's saying. Like, and then like a lot of people you can see in the comments, like watch his videos on like slow-mo so they can see all the memes. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. Right. And somehow he's set it up in such a way to where he has an undoubtedly YouTube, style for that kind of person, but it's not grating and aggravating because he's not shouting.
Not
right?
bad.
And he's not getting too excited. He's like,
there's an acceptable amount of excitedness Scott can tolerate.
Yeah. But also, he's giving information in a video, and it's actually, I think, necessary to use video in this case, right? Because you need to see these electronic instruments and how they work and how they're used, and also hear how they sound. Even if you have no plans to ever own or use any electronic musical instruments. And yeah, so he explained, and even in this video, he's like talking to some of the people who made the Dalai Lama and really going over the history of it and everything. And I was like, oh, I guess I may have seen the beginning and now I see the end. And now anytime I hear any song that has Dalai Lama in it, which I'm going to be like, oh my God, it's the fucking stupid llama.
Yep. I mean, that already hit me with, there was the thing today we had a while ago where it was a lot of like where the sounds in like popular EDM tracks, like the original samples and like them through the years.
I did a thing of the day where it was the DDR video, right?
Yep. So my thing of the day is the kind of video that is why we have like short form video on the internet. It's a dumb internet thing, but it's this guy who is either French or Quebecois. He's speaking French, and he clearly has a pet pigeon. And the pet pigeon really wants to hang out with him while he's trying to shower. And he's trying to shower without the pigeon's interaction. And this is 26 seconds of the most sublime human-pigeon interactions I have seen. Being someone who has interacted with pigeons more often recently, as we have rescued a few and now have a relationship with the Wild Bird Fund, which, fun fact, if you were in New York City and you ever find an injured pigeon, if you take them to the Wild Bird Fund, as long as they're open, they will take that pigeon and help it out. No questions asked, no money, no problem. They will just do it. Just show up with a pigeon.
Where is it?
It's on the Upper West Side.
Oh, well, it's not too far. But
Yeah.
I guess if you're a pigeon, live in the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
Don't try to live like in distant Queens. Don't try to live in like downtown, right? Live in the Upper West Side. That'll greatly increase the chances where if something happens to you,
Hey,
you're going to end up at the Bird Fund.
A big part of why our rabbit Moogie has
Don't live
lived.
in Brooklyn because there's people down there with like bags who scoop up pigeons, take them somewhere to be sold or whatever, or be shot and for hunting and shit. So
I mean, our rabbit happens to live across the river from one of the best advanced medical facilities for animals on Earth, the Animal Medical Center in New York.
Yeah, I keep telling. I've said this a zillion times. I'm going to keep saying it. Right? People talk about the high rent in New York, and is it too damn high? Yes, it should be lower. We're going to hopefully get it lower. Fuck a landlord. But when you pay, no matter what we do, as long as it's money, right? The rent in New York is going to be higher than other places because you are not paying for the space you live in. You are paying for all these other things that are outside your apartment, right? It's like, yeah. Congratulations, you live in a big mansion that we're in, and you're paying less than half the housing costs that I'm paying. But guess what? I can ride a bike to Madison Square Garden or Central Park or the Wild Bird Fund, or it's like, what do you got to do if you want to go to Madison Square Garden? Right, go really far and pay for parking.
Yep.
And
I can get a direct flight to almost anywhere on Earth from the airport. That is a 30-minute cab ride from my house.
Yeah, what's the best restaurant in your town? An Applebee's? I got third Michelin star. And several of them to choose from. Oh, you want to go see a movie? What's playing in your town? Oh, nothing, because the only movie theater you have in the shopping mall closed, and I can see literally any movie that is screening, no matter how indie or obscure.
But
it's
also,
like, that's what the rent is paying for, and as long as you do those things, you're getting your money. It's worth it to live here. If you can afford it and you do the things, but if you live here and don't do the things, you're just paying for those things without using them. So I thank you for subsidizing my existence, but unwise.
That's like going to a roller coaster park and not riding the roller coasters.
Right, exactly.
But also, part of the reason I make this my thing of the day is that pigeons are friendly little guys, and if you're in a city, you can
pigeons never hurt me.
Yeah, well, so the Wild Bird Fund has a whole webpage about you found an injured pigeon specifically, and they lead with a section that basically explains, look, there is no disease you as a human will catch from a pigeon, nor is there anything a pigeon can do to hurt a human.
Peck you.
They can peck you. They're not going to break the skin. Pigeons cannot peck that hard. And usually, if a pigeon's real spicy, they'll do something that is actually really cute. So what they'll do is they'll kind of bring their wing up a little bit, and they'll hit you with it. It's called a wing slap. They'll to give you a little slap with the wing. That's about the most aggressive thing a pigeon is capable of.
I mean, look, if pigeons were mean and nasty, it's like the worst they've ever done to me is poop on me. They didn't know I was there, right? It wasn't on purpose. Not like a seagull.
Yeah, right? Seagulls have stolen from me.
That's what I'm saying. Criminals.
In the meta moment, the GeekNights Book Club book is
The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I read this whole book. It's basically like 2.5 murder bots long, so it doesn't take very much. I got it from the library.
I'm probably going to finish it this weekend, but we'll still maybe we'll record the episode in advance and put it up later, so you have time to read the book if you read slow. But I'll finish it pretty quick.
Yeah, this book is about a woman who murders her husband, shoots him in the face like a whole bunch of times. No one can tell why, because after she shoots him, she then she wasn't mute to begin with, but she becomes mute. She just stops talking. We're not talking like Fifth Amendment doesn't talk in court. We're talking like does not talk, period. So they put her in some sort of, mental institution, and this criminal psychotherapist, knows about her story and becomes somewhat obsessed and gets a job there, and then tries to treat her, and then do mystery
Yada, yada,
detective-y
yada.
thriller. Yeah, you get the idea. That's the story. And I read the whole story.
Yep. And we will be live on Monday at PAX West at 1 p.m. in the Firebird Theater with a talk on auction and bidding mechanics in games.
What day is that? Monday. What,
September 1st.
Oh, so the last day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we get to enjoy a whole PAX West, and then on Labor Day, we just do a panel.
Yeah, 1 p.m. is easy, but the fun thing is it's in
near the end.
It is in one of the recorded theaters, so we know in advance there will be 2 spotlights on stage, so it'll be easy to video.
Okay.
All right, let's get right into it. So, not that way back, but in 2018, which is the same year we reviewed Umamusume Pretty Derby poorly, we also reviewed Keiichi Arawi's City manga. And we loved it. And funnily enough, it's another one of the rare instances where I wrote something about the review in the description of the episode. Quote, Rim, it's delightful with excellent comedic timing. If you enjoy Nichijou, this is definitely up your alley.
Well, it's made by the same guy who made Nichijou, right?
And Helvetica Standard.
Right. And so people can't help but like compare it to Nichijou. And yes, it's a comedy. It's an anime. The designs are similar because same art, right? But I think it's actually, some people have gone even so far as to say it's like a sequel to Nichijou or a spin-off, and it's like, no.
They share a lot of DNA, but it is a very different show, and I think it is a better anime than Nichijou. When I say that, I love Nichijou.
No, Nichijou, I like Nichijou, but it's very different from City. Nichijou also definitely leans more into the it's a different kind of wackiness, right? Where it's I guess a little bit more out there, like just freaking goat showing up, right? The famous goat scenes and whatnot, and
or the extreme animation events, like the clip most people have seen is where she accidentally clicks her thumb into the sharp end of her pen, and then you get the very long Sephiroth destroying the world style animation of the reaction to that.
Exactly. So Nichijou also, I think, has a little bit more weeb DNA, a little bit more otaku DNA in it. And City, I feel like, doesn't have that. City can just appeal to any human being.
City's
on Earth,
very
right?
restrained in like the subject matter and what's happening. It's very grounded, and while absurd, unlikely things happen, it is much more within what I would call these sort of slice of life. That's what it's like to live in a town with a bunch of people who are all characters like this.
Yeah, City falls along the lines of, the kind of comic strip you would see in the newspaper, but also actually funny. But also...
Well, you don't like Luann?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But also has a ton of characters like The Simpsons, where like there's this whole town, right? And you can, it's like, now we're going to do some Moe action. Now we're going to do some nuclear power plant action.
Yep.
We're going to do some Simpsons at home.
Wait,
action.
what if this episode, it's action. A Moe and Lenny adventure?
Right, exactly. So it's like City is in a small city, and there's this somewhat large cast of characters, and it basically cuts around between them. So it's almost like an anthology of different comic strips in the newspaper, and that you just sort of look. It's like, okay, here's the storyline about the high school or the kids soccer team, right? And here's the restaurant, and here's Mr. Bummer who's making the manga for the local newspaper.
Yep.
And here's the photography contest storyline, and here's the right, and you just keep switching between them, I guess, and then some of them you like more than others, and then you get crossovers, right? Because they're all in the same city. So it's like suddenly, the someone shows up at the soccer game who wasn't part of that storyline, who was part of a different storyline, and now a different funny thing happens.
Yep. And you basically just get like in the anime, because I'm going to specifically review the anime, even though I did read a bunch of the manga, but
I read the whole manga.
You kind of just get to be witness to these like little city interactions and this very like colorful palette. But I guess unlike The Simpsons, to contrast it, where there's a smaller number of very main characters, and then bit by bit they kind of run out of ideas and sort of elevate other characters into the forefront. This show, every character is sort of equally weighted in how they interact, and there's no like strong direction of an overarching plot or even like an overarching we're following this character. Everything's just very much like, well, this is what happens when these 5 people are together and someone spills their soup.
Yep. So some things that really stood out, manga versus anime, right, is number one, in the manga, you just talked about how like there's no really main character. In the manga, the 3 girls who live in the same, that same little housing thing, the photographer, and then the other 2, those are like the main character, especially not even the photographer one, right? The other, the slacker one with the part-time job at the restaurant.
And they're the best because they remind me a little bit of the kind of dynamic you get with the 2 teachers in Azumanga Daioh. I like that kind of duo.
Yeah. But those are, in the manga at least, like the mainest characters of all of them, right? They're more the focus, I guess, than others. I think the story, if I remember correctly, I think the manga starts with them, and the anime does not start with them, right? The other thing is that one of my favorite parts of the manga was the grandma trying to collect the rent from them, and 2 episodes in, grandma's not here yet. Where's grandma? But yeah, there are other characters that will come later.
Yeah.
But I think some of the benefit of the anime, even though it's not exactly the same, but some of the things are literally just taken from the manga and animated, is that some of the jokes actually hit harder when they're animated. So
definitely. Because this is a manga that, when we read the manga, we even noted, and we talked about a lot, how comics can have good comedic timing in terms of how they guide you into reading the joke. And this mangaka had, his work has really good, comic comedic timing. But I think that's taken to a whole other level in the anime version of this manga.
Right. It's like, the scene where he drops the food into the bag in the restaurant, right? And then does it again. It's like, it's funnier when you see an animation of the food.
The sheer length of time between when the second plate of noodles goes into the bag and they react to that fact. That is pure comedy. That is brilliant comedy right there.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up of how long it takes to find out whose bag that even was.
Yeah, the guy's not upset. They bring him the champagne. So there's that. What was the other thing?
Well, it also
right. The other thing the anime does is, it is just like a gag manga, right? So it's like, what are you gonna animate? There isn't too much action, right? There are some of the jokes that have action in them, but mostly not. Mostly it's just would be talking heads. They do so much with camera movement in this anime to make something that would otherwise be sort of lifeless in an animation that or would just come across as just showing manga, frames one at a time with lips moving, and they just go really hard on the camera movements, and it works really well.
Well, they couple that with, and the second episode is a good example where there's the 2 younger girls wanting to go play God in the shrine, and there's a lot of the characters are always very animated. So in the manga, this would be 3 panels of characters doing something, but in the anime, you'll get a lot of little motion of like she's reacting to something, like moving her shoulders, and you get like a full spread of this happening, and then the camera angle shifts and a lot of body language is happening. When one character is talking, other characters are reacting. It moves and breathes in a way that a lot of anime adaptations of manga do not do. It's not just the character standing there saying the words.
The budget was really high. This is on Amazon. Worldwide, this is on Amazon, simultaneous worldwide release everywhere that Amazon Prime Video exists. So there was some monies behind it for sure. The colors in this, right? So the manga is black and white mostly, but the covers of the manga, right, have these really bright, not quite like half pastel, half neon color palette, and the colors in the anime are like. They just like explode off the screen.
I was gonna say the thing that all artists hate. They pop. The colors pop. Everything is so colorful.
They do pop.
You can't take a still of this and put it next to any other anime you've ever seen, and even if you're not an artist, you'll be like, "Why does that look so much more colorful?"
Yeah, I don't know. Some color science stuff going on here, but it's like, the colors really they're really impressive.
I think part of it is there's not a lot of negative
else.
space. It's more like, think of old like children's storybooks, like those lush backgrounds with a bunch of stuff going on in the background. Every background in this show is like that. It's never just the characters in front of a simple background like black. It's always them in front of a storybook painting or in front of a stark color with there aren't a lot of shadows. There's almost no shadows and shading.
Yeah, there's no gradients either. Like, it's like they're coloring this shit with the bucket tool, right? It's like the policeman is like blue, right? or whatever, Japanese policeman color, right? It's like they're just bucket tooling and maybe putting like one shadow on something, and that's it. They're not coming in with any sort of
It's also, the framing is always very flat. Again, like a storybook. Like the background is sort of flat and the perspective is like tilted up a little bit to where it almost looks like a matte painting. But then the characters don't stand out that much from the background because they're colored the exact same way. So everything's like hyper flat and two-dimensional, which it all feels like a children's book.
Yeah, it's just, it really stands out. It's next to anything else, any other animation, really, right? It's like, it's just so bright.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
And I guess what it really did for me is like this anime reminds me why I generally do not like when comedy manga get turned into anime, because they tend to do what you described before, where they tend to sort of get through the jokes with the lowest budget possible, so it's technically animated.
Yeah, like I mean, listen, we love it, but like that's what Azumanga Daioh did.
Oh,
it's Azumanga Daioh is just the manga, and then they did the bare minimum animation of the manga sort of directly onto the screen, and that was it. And
but this,
the thing Azumanga Daioh added mostly was the music and the voice acting.
Yep. And this has also great music. Like the music fits very well. The voice acting is fantastic.
It's anime voice acting. It didn't stand out to me, but it also wasn't a problem.
I didn't. I don't know what the dub sounds like.
I'm not going to find out either.
Nope.
But maybe someone else will. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the anime is only 2 episodes out so far. They're coming out once a week. I was waiting for it, and somehow it was better than I expected it would be. And I had the rare higher expectation to begin with, because I bought and read the whole manga because I liked it so much. And I'm curious what other differences there will be between the anime and the manga. So it's not a situation where, you can be like, oh, I'll just do one and not the other. I feel like if, the anime is your first foray, like you should go read the manga because it's not exactly the same thing. And even if you finish reading the manga and go back to the anime, it's like, okay, there probably are a bunch of jokes you've seen already, but I read the whole manga and I feel no reason not to watch it. I'll be watching every week when it comes out.
Yep. I struggle to think of the kind of person who would not enjoy watching at least a few episodes of this. It's definitely worth checking out.
It appeals. I don't under. Yeah, it's like this appeals to every person, right? The same way that, you know, again, a newspaper comic strip just sort of has this broad appeal. Like, it's just funny. Like, if you're not going to laugh at this, it's because, I don't know, your
soul is dead.
A humorless person. It's like this, no matter where you're from or what culture or background you have or identity you have, it's like these are just, you know, human stories, right?
With one important side element that, because I think we had to have talked about this when we reviewed the manga 1,000 years ago in the year 2018, but while there are characters who cause problems, there really aren't characters who are evil or bad or acting in like bad faith. It's the human interactions are all positive, or even if they are neutral or a problem for one of the characters, they're sort of within this boundary of that was nice. Yeah, that was nice.
It's not like a villain. It's not a villain situation.
Yeah.
Right? The other thing is that this, despite being a wacky comedy, there is like sweet, sentimental, serious stuff in this story, right? It's, I think, most of all with the you know, the two girls who are like best friends in school.
Oh, yeah.
One of them is moving. Their family is going to move somewhere, but it's like they're super best friends, right? And she just doesn't want to tell her friend that she's moving yet, even though she has to. And that basically, you know, spoiler, I guess, it takes a long time until that comes to a head, right? And it's not, you know, it's comedic, obviously, but it's also serious. Like, you know, you're a kid in school and you're moving away from your super best friend in school to a different city or town somewhere, right? And it's like, it has that stuff too. And clearly the anime already got to that, at least showed the start of that plot line. And there are some others as well. And so it's not completely silly. There are serious elements going on.
So yeah, absolute recommend. Definitely an A tier anime. I only don't say S tier because this isn't gonna hit you the way like an Evangelion hits you. That's very different.
It's not like, listen, this isn't some kind of masterpiece that you're gonna be like, oh, what are the best anime of all time that everyone should see, right? It's basically, it's one of those, if you want to watch a funny TV show right now, this is on. Or you should watch.
For what it is expertly crafted with a lot of care and enough budget to pull it off.
I also think it could be a good, you know, there are a lot of, you know, Japanese wacky gag stuff that I think, especially for not Japanese people or people who aren't familiar, right? Like if you just threw GOG Manga BRE in front of someone, they'd be like, in front of like, you know, your mom in the United States, right? They'd be like, what the hell is this? Right? This is out of control.
Cut it off. 3 times.
Yeah. City is approachable and palatable to all people and could be a gateway to something like GOG Manga BRE. It's like, okay, you've seen City. Then if you were to watch GOG Manga BRE after, maybe you would understand.
That's the other end of the spectrum.
A little bit more, right? Yeah, a little bit. Maybe it would get you part of the way down the road.